From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day, this is Dateline Malacañang and here are the news. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. welcomed the launch of the World Bank Group's Country Partnership Framework, or CPF, for the Philippines for fiscal years 2025 to 2031, saying it would help bring the government's development agenda closer to ordinary Filipinos through targeted investments in health, education, job creation, and disaster resilience. At the ceremonial turnover of the CPF at the Malacañang Palace in Manila, President Marcos said that the cooperation corresponds with the themes he outlined in his fourth State of the Nation address, or SONA, and the Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028. President Marcos listed three primary outcome areas supported by the CPF: increasing access to excellent healthcare and education, creating more private sector jobs, and boosting the country's disaster resilience in the face of climate change. He noted the ongoing Phase 1 of the Philippine Health Systems Resilience Project as an important endeavor for increasing ability to respond to health emergencies and enhancing equal access to care. On education, he emphasized the importance of bridging learning gaps and aligning student skills with the market demands. To spur job growth, President Marcos announced that the government will continue to reduce corporate laws, improve infrastructure, and attract more investment. He emphasized the necessity of climate adaptation and disaster preparedness. The CPF will contribute to 8 of the World Bank Group's 15 target outcomes, such as healthier living, digital connectivity, learning, climate resilience, and enhanced private investment. President Marcos congratulated the World Bank for nearly 80 years of collaboration, highlighting its financial and technical support for infrastructure, climate action, and governance changes. The president promised Filipinos affected by the recent flooding and the calamities that help, and rehabilitation efforts will continue.
The Philippines has accomplished much over these past 2 decades. Our economy has grown steadily. Investments continue to increase, creating quality jobs for our people. And because of that, unemployment has come down. However, we are well cognizant of the fact that much more needs to be done to ensure that the progress is truly felt by every Filipino, wherever they may be. This is why we are looking forward to the launch of the World Bank Group's Country Partnership Framework, or CPF, for the Philippines for 2025 to 2031. We are improving the delivery of public health services, especially in underserved areas, including Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Through Phase 1 of the Philippines Health Systems Resilience Project, we are promoting the smarter use of quality health services while building our capacity to prevent, prepare for, and respond to health emergencies. With more equitable healthcare, we are giving our people not only longer lives, but hope, security, and dignity. We are also focused on addressing students' learning gaps, preparing our youth for the 21st century workforce through better education and stronger support, matching their skills with the market's needs. We ensure that our students will grow into future leaders, innovators, and visionaries. Binubuksan natin ang mas maraming dekalidad na trabaho sa pribadong sektor. Pinapalakas natin ang kakayahan ng bansa na harapin ang mga sakuna at epekto ng pagbabago ng klima. We are also redefining resilience to mean learning from our shortcomings and preparing the way ahead of time.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine Department of Budget and Management or DBM urged the public to take some time to monitor the budget deliberations. This as DBM Secretary Amena Pangandaman backed calls to make the bicameral budget deliberations open to the public to ensure transparency. Pangandaman said the executive branch has been vocal in making the budget process transparent from the time the 2026 budget plan was crafted until it is enacted as the General Appropriations Act. She said a copy of the 2026 National Expenditure Program or NAP, also called as the President's Budget, will be uploaded on the DBM's official website once transmitted to Congress. She said there will be a series of consultations and budget deliberations in the House of Representatives and the Senate. Pangandaman said the DBM, in coordination with other government agencies, will make sure that the proposed 2026 budget is responsive to the people's needs.
Sa ngayon po, iniimprenta na po ang ating budget. In 2 weeks, ibibigay na po natin ito sa House of Representatives at saka sa Senado. Yan po, pagkatapos po natin yan ibigay, nakapublish na po ang ating National Expenditure Program sa ating website po, sa DBM. Pagkatapos po niyan, magkakaroon na po tayo ng sunod-sunod na consultation at budget deliberation sa Senate at saka sa House of Representatives. Lahat po yan ay open sa public. Via Zoom, makikita po nila yan sa website ng DBM, sa website ng HOR, sa website din po ng Senate. So, ang gusto po sana natin ay makibahagi ang ating mga kababayan, lalo na po ang ating mga kabataan, para malaman po nila kung paano ang paggawa ng budget at saka kung paano po ito matatapos. Sinimulan natin nang ito ay bukas sa tao, hanggang sa matapos po ito po ay bukas sa tao. So, panawagan po natin, yung mga kabataan dito, anyway, tech-savvy naman sila sa kanilang mga telepono, sa kanilang mga laptop. Pwede nilang buksan kaagad yan, tingnan ng social media, mag-YouTube sila, mag-Facebook sila. Gamitin po nila yung plataforma na yon as an opportunity para makipahagi po sa ating budget.
Department of Budget and Management, DBM Secretary Amena Pangandaman.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Department of Budget and Management or DBM warned of possible delays in the implementation of programs, activities, and projects or PAPs if there would be changes in the 2026 National Expenditure Program or NAP. This followed after Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. in his 4th State of the Nation Address or SONA said he would veto the 2026 General Appropriations Bill or GAB if it is not aligned with the NEP or NAP. During the post-SONA conference in San Juan City, DBM Secretary Amena Pangandaman said President Marcos is serious in making sure that there would be no major changes in the NEP, also known as the President's Budget. The 2026 NEP that will be submitted to Congress 2 weeks after President Marcos's SONA underwent an extensive process before it was finally approved by no less than the President, Pangandaman said. She said the changes in the 2026 national budget proposed by the executive branch would slow down the implementation of government projects, stressing that it would be difficult for government agencies to implement the new programs that might be inserted by the lawmakers during budget deliberations in Congress.
So, pinag-isipan po ng mabuti ng ating Pangulo, ng Executive, kung paano po babalangkasin yung budget na yan. So, kung yan po mababago at hindi po magiging katulad nung ginawa po ng ating mga kabinete, unang-una po, babagal ang pag-i-implement ng mga proyekto. Kasi hindi po kami ready dyan . Ang napag-usapan po namin sa loob ng 6 na buwan, yun po yung alam namin kung paano implement at saka paano isakatuparan. So pag magkaroon po ng mga bagong proyekto na hindi po consistent sa ating mga programa, mahihirapan po kami i-implement itong mga to. Madidelay po ang proyekto pag hindi po consistent ang ating budget doon sa inaprubahan po ng executive.
President Marcos on July 15 approved the proposed 6.793 trillion Philippine peso budget for year 2026. The proposed budget, the country's highest to date, is expected to support key programs in education, infrastructure, digitalization, health, and social services. The NEP is the national government spending plan for the next fiscal year and serves as the basis of Congress in crafting the GAB, which then becomes the General Appropriations Act once signed into law by the President.
Dateline Malacañang.
Following marching orders from Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. in his fourth State of the Nation address or SONA, Department of the Interior and Local Government or DILG Secretary John Vic Remulla vowed to rev up the investigation into alleged corruption and misuse of public funds in government projects. During his SONA on Monday, President Marcos ordered a full audit of all flood control projects, blasting costly but ineffective infrastructure that failed amid recent floods in various areas in Metro Manila and nearby provinces. Remulla lauded Marcos's stern warning, describing the president's SONA before a joint session of Congress as a great fantastic speech. Remulla said in terms of peace and security, they have already strengthened the emergency 911 system. Remulla assured the public that the existing emergency hotline set up by local government units or LGUs could still be used as dispatch centers to take over if needed. To boost police response alongside a new 911 emergency call system rollout, Remulla also committed to providing more vehicles and motorcycles for the PNP. Remulla said the upgraded system is part of the administration's broader push for faster police response in compliance with President Marcos's directive for improved police visibility and public safety.
Ang DILG kasi ay ang first responders department ng buong bansa. Andiyan ang police, andiyan ang fire department, andiyan ang lahat ng hanay nasa ilalim namin. Makakaasa kayo na pagdating ng Setyembre, magkakaroon na tayo ng Unified 911 system na covered ng buong bansa. At within 5 minutes, ang response time ay guaranteed ng PNP at ng BFP at ang Department of Health para sa ambulansya, sa fire trucks at sa mga pulis. Makakaasa kayo na ang Unified 911 ay regional sensitive. Kung nasa Ilocos kayo, Ilocano ang sasagot sa inyo. Kung nasa Pampanga kayo, Kapampangan ang sasagot. We take the sensitivities in hand and we make sure na kung may emergency sa bawat bahay, the best way to communicate is through your native language and your mother tongue. At ang sasagot sa inyo ay pareho kayong komportable sa sinasabi niyo.
Meanwhile, the DILG said it continues to enhance the capacities of local government units or LGUs in disaster preparedness through robust systems-based protocols, grassroots engagement, and anticipatory planning. The DILG also reaffirmed its commitment to building resilient communities by equipping both barangays and cities with tools that prevent loss of lives and ensure rapid response. Remulla said the department's posture is simple but resolute. Anticipate, prepare, and act decisively before disaster strike. As Vice Chair for Disaster Preparedness under the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, the DILG leads the implementation of Operation Listo, a disaster readiness protocol that standardizes pre-disaster actions for governors, mayors, and punong barangays. The DILG chief was given the authority to make announcements on the suspension of classes on behalf of the Cabinet and the Palace, according to the Presidential Communications Office. Remulla said they have made it a point to announce class suspensions by 4 in the afternoon at the latest and through various channels, including social media. In April 2025, the DILG launched the enhanced Listo Sikap protocol, focusing on equipping barangay officials with the right tools, coordination frameworks, and situational checklists to activate even in far-flung sitios. The DILG has also taken a stronger stance on LGU-led solid waste management and flood mitigation, recognizing the connection between local governance and climate resilience. All LGUs have been urged to update their disaster preparedness plans, monitor critical waterways, and preposition cleaning and rescue assets ahead of weather disturbances. Barangays are expected to lead early warning dissemination, implement evacuation protocols, and coordinate with city and municipal DRRM councils. To support this, the DILG is upgrading emergency 911 systems nationwide. More LGUs are now operating local E911 call centers that are geotagged, multilingual, and linked directly to police, fire, and medical responders. This allows for faster deployment and clearer coordination at the community level. The department is also integrating disaster risk reduction with inclusive wellness and community programming. Through Memorandum Circular 2025-037, LGUs are reminded to open civic spaces such as parks, plazas, and covered courts to all members of the public, particularly during emergencies and evacuations. These same venues are also encouraged to be used for disaster education, drills, and wellness activities to strengthen community ties.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Department of Budget and Management said that it will treble the number of new teaching positions created in 2026 to solve the continuing teacher shortage in public schools. In a post-State of the Nation address or SONA briefing, Budget Secretary Amena Pangandaman said that the government has created 60,000 new teaching positions and approximately 5,000 non-teaching positions to relieve teachers of administrative duties.
Sa teachers naman po, alam po natin lahat na may backlog sa teachers. Marami estudyante pero kulang ang ating mga guro. So sa panahon po, ngayon pong administrasyon ng ating Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, sisikapin po natin na matapos ang backlog na yan. Ngayong taon pa lang po, meron pong 20,000 teaching positions, may 10,000 admin positions. Bakit po importante ang administrative positions? Yung mga teachers po natin, hindi lang sila nagtuturo, sila na rin po yung gumagawa ng admin work sa opisina. So kulang po yung oras nila sa pagtuturo. So susunod na taon, dodoblehin po rin natin yan. Meron din po tayo mga guidance counselors na idadagdag. So it's more than 65,000 na po ang nabagawa nating na kikreate na nating positions para sa ating mga guro at saka sa mga admin staff.
The budget head said that the increase would also entail the hiring of more guidance counselors to improve student support services. The hiring of new instructors is part of the Marcos administration's larger effort to improve educational quality by increasing teacher-to-student ratios and providing support mechanisms. The Education Commission 2 or EDCOM 2, which is in charge of researching educational reforms, has also identified teacher shortage as a major hindrance to successful learning. In his fourth State of the Nation address or SONA on Monday, President Marcos said that teachers remain at the core of the education system and promised that beginning this school year, public school instructors will be compensated for teaching overload and overtime. He also boasted about the reduced administrative workloads of instructors under his leadership. The DEP had previously announced that teachers' workloads were reduced by 57%. To further reduce paperwork, President Marcos said that remaining forms would be digitized and submitted online via the instructors' new laptops.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine Department of Science and Technology or DOST Secretary Renato Solidum Jr. said, coupled with resilience and unity, Filipinos could also withstand calamities through the help of science, technology, and innovation or STI. Solidum made the statement during the post-State of the Nation address conference held in San Juan City. He said there has always been the impression that the Philippines is often a victim of typhoons, floods, and volcanic eruptions. Solidum cited 4 things that the DOST does in disaster preparedness and mitigation. First, it identifies possible hazards. To do this, the DOST allocates funds for the Philippines Institute of Volcanology and Seismology or PHIVOLCS, the Philippine Atmospheric Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA, as well as universities to strengthen hazard assessment. Second, the department modernizes the monitoring systems. He said more Doppler radars would be used, and the DOST also targets 300 seismic stations from the current 125. Additionally, the DOST eyes to have 400 tsunami monitoring stations. The DOST Solidum said has partnered with an American firm for the use of artificial intelligence or AI in weather forecasting. The use of AI enables the expansion of the forecast period from 5 days to 14 days, shortens the processing time from 3 hours to 15 minutes, and makes the forecast more localized. Third, it developed tools such as the Hazard Hunter app to better cascade information and communication. The app, he said, informs users of hazards in establishments such as malls or school. And the DOST uses STI to convert waste into something useful.
Pero sa siyensya, teknolohiya at inobasyon at maigting na pagtutulungan at disiplina, ang mga Pilipino ay pwedeng manalo sa mga posibleng trahedya. We can become victors and not victims of disasters. Paano po ba natin tinitingnan ito? 4 pong pamamaraan ang ginagawa ng Department of Science and Technology. Unang, kailangang malaman ano yung mga panganib na pwedeng tumama sa inyong mga lugar at sa paligid nito. Pangalawa, kailan ba mangyayari yung sinasabi nating mga panganib? Dito na pumapasok yung monitoring systems na minomodernize po natin, at kami nagpapasalamat sa patuloy na pagsuporta sa PAGASA at FIVOX. Marami tayong mga Doppler radar, kailangan din siguraduhin na dagdagan pa natin ito. Ganon din po sa pag-modernize ngayon ng FIVOX, dadagdagan pa ang mga seismic stations. 125 na, gagawin po yung mas marami. Siguro mga 300 ang gusto nating abutin. Dadagan pa natin yung mga malalakas na lindol ay dapat nating masubukan na malaman kaagad kung nasaan yung lindol na yon, baka magka-tsunami. So dadagdagan po natin ng mas marami pa. Gusto namin mga 400 at dadamihan pa yung mga tsunami warning stations. Ito po ay ginagamitan din natin ngayon ng artificial intelligence para pagdating ng weather forecast ng PAGASA ay ma-improve natin. Pangatlong kailangan gawin, ano naman yung communication and warning information. Pero pagdating ng klima, ng baha, ang problema natin ay mga basura. Kaya meron kaming Science, Technology, and Innovation for Circular Economy Framework. Para yung mga plastic, para yung mga agricultural waste ay hindi lang itapon, kundi ma-convert natin sa mga bagay na pagkakakitaan. At yan po ay marami po tayong research. Kaya sana po, i-convert natin po yung mindset natin at ugaling pagtatapon ng basura, ipunin po natin kasi pwedeng pagkakitaan yan using science, technology, innovation, makakatulong sa inyong bulsa, makakatulong pa sa kalikasan at sa mas maraming tao.
Department of Science and Technology, DOST Secretary Renato Solidum Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Finally, for Dateline Malacañang, the Department of Budget and Management or DBM said that 76 child development centers will be erected in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao or BARM as part of a nationwide effort to strengthen early childhood care. During a post-State of the Nation address or SONA briefing, Budget Secretary Amena Pangandaman said that the Education Commission 2 or EDCOM 2, which is in charge of studying education reforms, has identified the country's dearth of a child development facilities. To remedy this, the Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. allowed the building of nearly 300 child development facilities across the country, including 89 in Luzon, 106 in Visayas, and 133 in Mindanao, and 76 in the Bangsamoro region. According to Pangandaman, who also serves as the national government's Intergovernmental Relations Body or IGRB co-chairperson, each child development center will receive 3 million pesos in infrastructural cost. IGRB has functioned as a collaborative tool for the national and BARM administrations to promote Bangsamoro's peace and development efforts. She said that a joint memorandum with the Department of Education or DepEd and the Early Childhood Care and Development or ECCD Council had already been inked for the program.
Ito po yung report na ginawa ng EDCOM. Matatapos na po ang EDCOM ngayong taon na to at kasama po doon sa kanilang pag-aaral na napakalaki po nung backlog ng ating child development centers. Kung hindi po alam ng ating mga kababayan, ang child development centers po, ito po yung nursery and prep. Wala po kasi tayong ganyan sa ating sistema. Hindi po katulad ng mga mas nakakaangat sa buhay. Yung iba po, 2 years old, 3 years old po nag-aaral na. Pero sa nakakarami po, wala po tayong ganyan. So inaprobahan po ng ating Pangulo ang pag-construct ng more than 300 child development centers sa Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. 3 million po per building. At ang local government units po ang maglalagay ng mga guro o yung mag-a-assist sa mga bata para pag sila po ay pupunta sa child development centers. 89 po dito ay sa Luzon, 106 po dito ay sa Visayas at may 133 po sa Mindanao. Kasama din po dito ang BARM. Merong 76 din po na itatayo sa BARM. Ang maganda po nito, napirmahan na po natin ang joint memorandum with DepEd at ECCD kasi katulong po natin sila sa pag-identify. Tapos mamayang hapon po, pipirmahan na rin natin together with the local government units, yung mga benepisyaryo para masimulan na po nila yung proyekto.
In his fourth State of the Nation address on Monday, Marcos pledged to build 44,000 more classrooms until his tenure ends in 2028 and urged Congress to assist the effort. Over the last 3 years, the president or the Marcos government has opened about 22,000 new classrooms. He also emphasized other education-related measures such as the increased implementation of the Early Childhood Care and Development Program to ensure Filipino children's holistic development. This year, the government also introduced the Academic Recovery and Accessible Learning or ARAL initiative to ensure that kindergarten through grade 10 students have the foundational skills required to achieve grade level standards.
Dateline Malacañang.
And that is all for today's Dateline Malacañang for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This has been Bea Gaza-de Guzman.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.